everyone, I'm Natasha. I'm an imaginative realist painter from the Gold Coast in Australia, and I'd like to talk to you today about the new Cara app. There has been a big talk on the town of the artists world about this Cara app, and I am all for it, and I'm here to tell you why. I've heard a lot of pros, a lot of cons, a lot of naysayers kind of coming in and making their comments, but I wanted to tell you why I think it's an extraordinarily good opportunity for artists and why I think we should all get on board. So Meta, Instagram, Facebook has basically informed its users that whether or not they like it, they will be scraping their content and using it to train their AI software. This has already apparently started to happen. However, the official consent has been kind of dated for the next week or so to begin at that point. Apparently there is an opt-out method if you live in the EU only, nowhere else. So nowhere here in Australia, nowhere in the States, nowhere in the UK. But even apparently that opt-out method is near impossible, if possible at all. So it is more of just like a kind of legal tick box. So we have to pretend to ask our users for consent before we steal their things. There is another app called Cara that has been around for a bit of a short while, but is really starting to gain some momentum and make a name for itself in the last couple of weeks, when there's been a huge kind of mass exodus of artists and creatives from Meta into this app, because it is an AI-free app, and they are partnering with a software called Glaze, which basically creates an invisible protection for your artwork, making it kind of hard to render your style and recreate your style for AI scraping software. So what do I think about Cara? So basically there's been a lot of talk around this, a lot of people in my social communities, people I see online, a huge amount of people moving over, and there's been quite a bit of skepticism, and understandably so, because we have seen a lot of these sorts of creative apps come and go. I, for one, think that joining up the Cara app is a fantastic idea, despite the naysayers, and here are my major reasons why. So first, there's a lot of talk around the fact that, okay, a lot of these creative apps have come and gone before. Why would this one be any different? Why should I spend my valuable time and put my valuable attention into this app when it's probably just going to flop anyway? My answer to that is this. A startup is just that, a startup. So it has to start somewhere, and it has to have a starting point. At the moment, they do have a bit of a buy me a coffee setup. So they are relying on their users to help kind of subsidize a lot of the huge costs, this huge tsunami of costs that have come in because of the influx. They're up to almost 1 million users, coming from just a couple of thousand a few weeks ago, which is absolutely phenomenal. And I think the reason for that is because the time is right. The time is right. We're at a pivotal point in history, and there is a calling, and they have answered the call. This is an app that is made by artists for artists. So the owner and the creator of the app, one of the major creators of the app, actually had a court case around her own artistic IP, and which she has had some success with lately. And so she has firsthand experience in having your art taken away from you and used illegally without your consent. So she has every kind of interest in making this thing, she's got passion and she's got heart behind this. She hasn't just got a drive to kind of make the next big app that's going to get a bunch of users and basically sell it to the next highest bidder. Of course, that could happen in the future, and if that happens, well, that's just life, and then we make a decision when we come to those crossroads. But at this point, I think it's a great idea to get behind something, because this is a revolutionary point in our history, and on so many levels, by the way, politically, artistically, just so many points. Governments are starting to, cracks are starting to be revealed, governments are starting to be toppled from the inside, and even on social media, we're seeing it now. So basically Meta coming in and saying, we're taking your artwork, you're taking your creations, we're taking basically your image, your face, anything we like. without asking your permission, this is a pivotal point. If we sit as a public and we obey the overlords of social media and we continue to say, okay, because you're holding me hostage, because you have all of my followers, you have all of my users, you have all of my eyes, then we are consenting to this. We are sending a loud and clear message that they can do this and that this is fine. And Cara, whether or not it lasts or doesn't, right now it is the opportunity, it is the potential knight in shining armor that we need to come in and actually say, no, well, you don't get to steal our stuff. We're going to go over here. Because a lot of people that I've heard in the community are kind of making those questions, asking themselves those questions, being very skeptical and apathetic about it, which is exactly what Meta wants, by the way, and saying things like, well, there's only artists in there, who am I going to sell to? What about all of my other followers? What about what about marketing my business? I don't want to just sell to other artists. You have to ask yourself, which brings me to my next point, what is the actual value of social media now as an artist or as a creative? When's the last time that you shared a painting or a finished artwork and you got some good reach? You got some good actual new sets of eyes, other than the same maybe 20, 30, 40 people that always see your posts, who are probably your close friends and family, who always see your posts. You're not getting any organic reach, you're not getting anything new, and I think we can all relate to that. Now, I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, you post a beautiful painting, or at least I would, and you can get hundreds of, of likes and comments. Now, you're lucky if you get 30. You're incredible if you get 50. And yes, I have a relatively, I'm less than 2,000 followers on Instagram at this stage, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I used to have a fraction of what I have now, and my reach was huge compared to what it is now. It was exponentially huge, so what you have to ask yourself, which is what I'm asking myself, is what is the actual value? We have this perceived value now that has been ingrained and conditioned into us for the last decade of Instagram and Facebook, because it once was a place where you could have a platform, get a huge amount of organic reach, and really, make some good money and get a lot of sets of eyes on your work. But it's not that anymore. If you don't pay, or if you don't jump up and down like a trained monkey, basically, and create reels exactly how you should, the exact length with the exact hashtags and follow the exact formula, then basically no one's seeing your stuff anyway. So what you're doing is being, you're allowing this app, this mega corporation, to hold you hostage for what? For something, a perceived value, which is actually disintegrated, years ago. So basically, as a political move, as a creative move, as an artistic move, I want to throw my full weight behind anyone who has the guts to take on a mega giant like Meta. I want to show my full support, and I, for one, welcome the sense of community and organic reach and salt of the earth connection that we can actually get in there. And if that is all it is, if it just becomes this little artist club, then fantastic, I'll do that. And I'll be grateful for that, and it will send a huge message to a megacorp at the same time, which is fantastic. But I don't believe that's going to be all it is. I believe that this is a pivotal point, and that the people who sign up to this app now will be the first in, best dressed. They will grow the quickest. They will have the most sets of eyes on them. They will be seen as the innovators, the trailblazers, to the future of what social media is going to look like. Because I personally feel, and I have no proof that this will be the case, but my personal judgment is that we're heading toward a divide of, this AI versus non-AI, creative platform, and this world that kind of is pro-AI and maybe not, anti, but we are, standing up against it. It's encouraging us to kind of do more face-to-face, more community, more real, lean into authenticity, lean into real connection, lean into face-to-face interaction, showing your art, in person, doing markets, fairs, whatever it is. Like, I think I feel like we're going to see a huge revolution, of course, in the world, but specifically to this video, in the artistic world, and the way we see art, the way we appreciate art, and the way we perceive its value. Because right now, a little square box on a screen the value of that we used to have, it's about to be taken away from us. So in my opinion, Cara is offering another possible future and the first step in an alternative direction in the future of AI and art. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm brand new to YouTube and I am planning on talking a lot more about these types of topics. So please like, subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon.